Imagine this for a moment. A young artillery officer from a poor Corsican family rises so fast that kings panic, empires shake, and Europe burns for over a decade. But what if Napoleon Bonaparte didn't conquer Europe with cannons alone? What if behind every battlefield victory, there was a quiet financial move, a hidden system, a money strategy no one talks about? What if the real power wasn't the army marching in front, but the ledger moving silently behind it? Stay with me, because once you see Napoleon through this lens, history will never feel the same again. Napoleon is usually remembered as a military genius, a man who moved armies like chess pieces and defeated enemies twice his size. But wars don't run on courage. They run on money. Soldiers need pay. Weapons need factories. Horses need food. Roads need maintenance. And governments need trust. When the French Revolution broke out, France was nearly bankrupt. The old monarchy had collapsed under debt. Inflation was out of control. The paper money of the revolution, called assignats, had become almost worthless. In that chaos, most generals failed not because they lost battles, but because they couldn't fund them. Napoleon understood something others didn't. Control the money, and the battlefield will follow. From his earliest campaigns in Italy, Napoleon showed a strange habit. He didn't wait for money to come from Paris. He made war pay for itself. When his armies entered northern Italy, they didn't just fight Austrian troops. They seized treasuries, forced contributions from wealthy cities, and redirected local taxes into French hands. This wasn't random looting. It was organized finance. Every captured city became a funding source. Every defeated region helped pay for the next battle. While other generals begged the government for funds, Napoleon created his own system on the ground. This approach did two powerful things. First, it kept his soldiers paid, which meant loyalty. In revolutionary France, unpaid soldiers often mutinied. Napoleon's troops followed him anywhere because he made sure they were rewarded. Second, it made him independent. He didn't rely fully on unstable politicians in Paris. Money gave him freedom, and freedom gave him power. If you're finding this kind of hidden history interesting, make sure you like the video and subscribe to Bioforge right now. This channel dives deep into the stories behind great figures, the parts textbooks skip. Subscribing helps you never miss these powerful biographies. As Napoleon rose to power and became first consul, then emperor, he took this thinking to a national level. One of his smartest moves was financial stability. After years of chaos, France needed trust. Napoleon backed the creation of the Bank of France, a central institution designed to control inflation, stabilize currency, and fund the state. This wasn't about helping citizens feel good. It was about control. A stable currency meant predictable taxes. Predictable taxes meant reliable armies. Reliable armies meant conquest. While his enemies often struggled with debt, Napoleon structured France to extract maximum value from conquered territories. Instead of directly annexing every region, he created satellite states run by family members or loyal allies. These states paid tribute, supplied soldiers, and followed French economic rules. It looked like political expansion, but it functioned like a financial network. Money, resources, and manpower flowed toward Paris. One of Napoleon's most overlooked financial weapons was the continental system. On the surface, it was an economic blockade against Britain, banning European nations from trading with British goods. Militarily, France couldn't defeat Britain at sea, so Napoleon attacked the wallet. Britain's power came from trade, finance, and global markets. Napoleon believed that if he could cut Britain off from Europe, its economy would collapse. The idea was bold, but it also revealed how deeply Napoleon thought in economic terms. He wasn't just fighting armies. He was fighting balance sheets. Ports were monitored, merchants punished, and entire economies reorganized to serve this strategy. The problem was enforcement. Smuggling exploded. Allies suffered more than Britain. And maintaining the system drained resources. In trying to financially strangle Britain, Napoleon financially weakened parts of his own empire. Still, even failure here shows his mindset. Napoleon understood that wars are won long before battles begin. They are won in supply chains, credit systems, and trade routes. When Russia ignored the continental system, it wasn't just political defiance. It was financial rebellion. And Napoleon responded the only way he knew how, with invasion. The Russian campaign of 1812 is often described as a military disaster caused by winter. But the financial side tells a deeper story. Napoleon marched with one of the largest armies ever assembled, over 500,000 men. Feeding, equipping, and paying such a force was a nightmare. His usual method of living off the land failed in Russia's vast emptiness. Supply lines collapsed. Costs exploded. The hidden ledger finally turned against him. By the time winter arrived, the army was already financially and logistically broken. After that, everything accelerated. Defeats piled up. Allies turned away. Funding dried up. Even Napoleon's genius couldn't overcome empty coffers. Armies without money don't just lose battles. They lose loyalty. Desertions increased. Former allies stopped paying tribute. The financial network that once fed the empire unraveled piece by piece. What makes Napoleon's story so powerful is that his rise and fall mirror a truth that still applies today. Power follows money. When Napoleon controlled the flow of resources, he dominated Europe. When that flow stopped, his empire collapsed faster than anyone expected. At Bioforge, we don't just tell you what happened. We show you why it happened. And Napoleon's hidden financial story explains more than any single battle ever could. In exile, stripped of power, Napoleon reportedly reflected on his life with bitterness, not just about lost wars, but lost control. Once the ledger was no longer his, the crown meant nothing. His enemies didn't just defeat him with armies. They outlasted him economically. Britain kept trading. Its credit system survived. Its economy kept breathing while France suffocated under endless war costs. So when you think of Napoleon, don't just picture the man on horseback, hand inside his coat, staring across Europe. Picture the books being balanced, the taxes collected, the treasury seized, and the systems built to move money as efficiently as troops. That was the real battlefield. If this story made you see Napoleon differently, take a moment near the end of this video to like it. Drop a comment with your thoughts or which historical figure you want next. And share this video with someone who loves history but wants the deeper truth. Every like, comment, and share helps Bioforge bring you more powerful stories that go beyond the surface. Because history isn't just written by victors. It's written by those who understand the ledger behind the crown.